Let me start with the introductions and a little bit of announcements before we can jump right into the topic. Good morning, good evening, welcome to people from different geographies here. I'd like to welcome all of you to this webinar, which we are jointly presenting between MediaVen and Brahmam. We both have partnered each other to bring a synergistic effect of MediaVen's MW Hub and Brahmam's services together. So this is a seamless partnership that brings across various solutions to customers in the market. We have had several webinars before this, and if you are interested to look into the previous webinars, you can go to our Vimeo channel, or you can go to our website and look at all the past webinars and register and see the recorded videos. Keep tuned to our announcements as well as our Vimeo channel, so that you can see the future webinars as well. We usually do one webinar a month, and so it's important that if you're interested in this topic, we keep bringing you new improvements, developments, new features, and we also implement certain feedbacks to make whatever is latest and required in by our customers to bring to the market. So stay tuned, and I welcome all of you again to this webinar. First of all, I would like to introduce Arwan here, who is the CEO at MediaVen Technologies. He's based out of France, and I am Biraj Rath, CEO at Brahmam. I am based in Dublin, in Ireland, and both of us are working together now for quite some time, and we keep doing webinars together to bring you the latest. So with that in mind, let me first start on this interesting topic, which on popular demand we presented, because we had a lot of requests from previous webinars as well as from customers, and internally as well. We had some challenges where we kept encountering from time to time from customers who quite increasingly are using videos, especially on the social media. As you would be aware that after change in the Google SEO algorithms, which they keep doing from time to time, ever since I think maybe from 18 months or two years from now, the algorithm actually decides to rate the content with videos in them, and not just any video. And there is a separate webinar that we did on that, and you may have a look at that. But basically, it has to be high quality video with relevant content. And if there are human beings inside it, they are always ranked higher amongst the other content. So it's very important for companies that advertise on the social media to be aware that this is not just just a one-off case. This is consistently the case when you use the social media platform and you are using videos to advertise your products, or it could be, for example, informative videos which you may be releasing from time to time. Now, as we know that video is a great option, and it's a great content to quickly bring out the information for people, both in the visual form and in auditory form. And that brings with it its complexities, that every video does have a sound component to it and a text component to it, right? And if you need to reach out to the global audience, then what you need to be aware of is that the video cannot be in one single language, especially if it's English. We are only covering a very small population of the globe. So we ought to look at how do we use this video to reach out to a greater audience. And that's where comes the transcription and subtitling of the videos. So here today we are looking at the challenges that typically a lot of advertisers, agencies who use SEO videos for SEO purposes and the like, and how we have taken various feedbacks and difficult situations from the market, and try to customize and make things easier for people to use video content for transcription and subtitling. So we've tried to eliminate a lot of the manual effort. There's a workflow that we will share at the end of this video, which will help you understand that if you were a customer, it could be an agency or it could be a direct customer, how does the workflow really work to make it more simple for you? Right. So with that, I'll just jump in to what we are going to share with you today. So what do we really deliver? How do we deliver? What are the things we optimize? What are the integrations available within the platform? And what are the social media platforms we support as of today? And how does it all work? What's the workflow? How do you start as a customer or an agency with us? So to start with, what is it actually that we are talking about? What we are talking about here is two different types of output. So as you may be aware that in certain cases, you may need to have an embedded subtitle in the video, which we also called as burnt subtitle. What it means is that you have the individual subtitles right on top of the video. They're embedded on video. It's not in an external text file or anything. It's right on top of the video. So which means that if you are translating the video in, let's say, 5 languages, you will have 5 different videos. Each of these videos will have those subtitles directly embedded on the video. So these are called burnt subtitles. So let's say if your video is 5 MB in size, you will have each of these 5 MB videos coming out in different languages. So a total of 25 MB output if you look at it that way. In contrast, you have another form of an output, which is related to external files being handled especially for subtitling, right? So you may have one video which is in whatever language, but the language switching is done by connecting it with an SRT file or an STT file, and there are many other formats which for example Netflix uses a DFXP format, and within DFXP there are also some variations. So everybody has some standard or the other format that they are using, but SRT happens to be kind of one of the most used file formats. So when you use an external file format like SRT, you basically have it in a certain coded format so that the video player can recognize where a particular sentence starts and where it ends. And it picks up the translated content from there and makes it visible in the player on top of the video. So that's typically how the subtitle files work from an external source. And these could be in XML formats, this could be in notepad files. They are different formats, right? So these are the two different outputs we are talking about. And on MediaWen Hub, both of these outputs are practically possible. So if you have a social media channel that says, hey, look, we have our own player, you just need to upload the base video and an SRT file with it, and we'll sync it up, fine, no problem. But there will be certain situation where you may have particularly certain reason not to do it that way, because you are only targeting, let's say, a specific geography and you need hard-coded subtitles specifically for that geography. Then you look at a burnt subtitles, and that comes straight out of MediaWen Hub, which basically avoids you the actual engineering cost that may be required. And it's usually a huge cost because you have to buy some kind of a software like Adobe Premiere or some kind of a subtitling software, and also you need somebody as a talented or skillful human being to be doing all that adjustment from day to day. It's time consuming, it's expensive, there is a license cost, and it usually is something that you need to download the file and work on an offline mode and then again upload it back. Of course, now there are some tools which do this on the cloud as well. And that brings me to the point that MediaWen Hub is a completely cloud-based platform that Brahmam has been using now for almost 2 years. And the convenience that you get out of it is that you don't have to actually download or upload the files as you work on it. So different people of different languages can work simultaneously on the files for this output. So it's almost certain that we are basically working on an agile kind of a method, and you don't really have to worry about either the security issues, because person from one language cannot actually see what the other person is doing. So they are technically separate from each other while they are working parallelly on the same file actually. So what we are talking here is these two formats, and then we are talking about the customized encoding for different social media platforms. So you will realize that every social media platform really has a different standard that they require you to adhere to. It could be even including the resolution. It could be including the aspect ratio. All of them may have different kind of encoding formats which you may need to do, and you can select that on the platform and make sure that you adhere to these standards before you upload it to any media. And lastly, of course, we are talking about post-production as well as presets that can be also worked out in terms of customization. So if you have to add a logo on a video, so usually, again, I would come back to the same point that most of the presets and post-production tasks are generally carried out by a skillful engineer, right? So if you have to add a logo or you have to add some kind of a brief animation or something like that, those kind of customizations are also practically possible on the MediaVen platform, and therefore you are basically almost certainly saving a lot of time, effort, and human cost in making sure that you're bringing out this output, right? So that's the scope of all those changes and works that we are talking about before you put up your video on the social media platforms in different languages, right? So we're talking about languages, we are talking about different file formats, we are talking about encodings, and we are talking about all the post-production presets and production processes that can be availed from the MW Hub. Moving further, we are talking here about what do we really deliver, right? So we are talking here about automatically pushing transcript and subtitles and dubbing to your social media account, which I just mentioned. And you can also do it via the downloadable file in emails. I mean, you can do it via a link that comes through, or you could directly log on to the platform and work on this. So these are the two mechanisms under which we are currently operating through the platform. It is an extremely flexible mechanism. So here I think I would like to hand over the conversation to Arvan, and he will take you through the rest of the features and the special customization items that we generally deal with. Over to you, Arvan.
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you for this excellent presentation. One thing important related to corporate clients, some decide to go to multilingual strategy, so have one YouTube account with all languages accessible. I mean, most languages accessible.
Yeah.
Some decide to have one channel per language. So this is important. Yes. Related to the SRT or the burnt subtitles. Do you have several channels, one per language, one per region, linguistic region, or and target, or do you have all 5, 10, 15 languages on the same YouTube to talk about YouTube account? That's one thing. The other thing that Biraj mentioned, we have an end-to-end solution, meaning we can save time, money, headaches, is not only on the video process, but also on the communication process between you as a client and us as a service provider with high technology. So how we pass the messages. So I give you an example. You can upload, if we don't need your password, so we are extremely strong on privacy and data privacy at MediaVen. We don't need your password on your YouTube account, but we can set up some tools to make us aware when you upload a video. And we agree in advance that once you upload a video, this video will be in English or in French or Spanish, and we will translate it in 3, 4, 5, 10 languages. So this parsing of the communication, we spend the time at the opening of your account to customize what is the optimal communication for your organization. because each organization is different. And so you want to be aware when the transcription is ready or when the translation are ready, and you have several people in your organization, as we have with Brahman and MediaWen. And so we spend the time customizing the emailing automation, which is, if you work in video, you know how it can be a headache to know what is the last version, who is implied in this project, etc. So we optimize by this automation between MW Hub and you. We talk about the granular access right. Granular means you tell us who has access to what, who is in charge of the project, who is in charge of validating, for example, a translation before publishing. So this is a granular access right. The platform encoding, we'll see a next slide. It's still a work in progress. We mentioned dubbing. We can do some what we call text to speech. So you have a video. We can do a voiceover process. So cover hearing a little the original soundtrack and cover it, or replace it. If we, for the moment, when we began to work on social media, some players didn't have the capacity to change languages. Now it becomes almost a standard to have SRT files. SRT, it's always at the bottom of your screen, in the middle. So if you have other information in your video, it can be in conflict. So it's not the best. It's standardized font. You cannot play with the colors, etc. So, but more or less all the social medias have streaming with SRT. The dubbing, they don't have it. We have at MediaWen, but it's another topic that we will do in the next webinar on, we have a streaming player where you can change the language of the audio track. This is not possible on, as I know, on all social networks. So if you do some dubbing, some voiceover process, then you will need to have one channel per language. What is very important is the mix of AI and manual QC. This is why we work hand in hand with Brahman. Brahman brings the human expertise, the linguistic expertise. We bring the optimal tools for video, but not only AI. It's also automation of the communication. And this is absolutely, we work on industrial solutions. So if you have 2-3 videos, we'll be happy to work for you. But here we are presenting, you have a strategy, an industrial multilingual strategy on social medias, not only one, it can be several. And how we can save, again, a lot of time, money, administrative costs, management costs by automating all what we can. And on the linguistic part, we don't save money on the quality of the translation. So this is why AI automated translation can be pushed, then scrutinized by Brahman translators, and then with the last validation on your side, if needed. Otherwise, we can automate, you can retrieve. So this is a slide I was talking about. Each social media, it's still a work in progress. It becomes more or less standardized, but it's only more or less. So some social medias you see can do 16 by 9 or 9 by 16 or square images, such as Twitter, Instagram too. There are different options depending on the social media. And as Diraj mentioned, if you don't provide the video in the optimal specifications, it's not good for the algorithm, for the visibility, first for the quality on the screen of your target, and then to be really considered as a reliable source of information by the social medias. So this is where the end-to-end solution is really useful. You upload a video on YouTube, we have a tool without accessing to your password, to retrieve a video file, a copy of the file you uploaded on YouTube. It goes directly on the platform. We do the captioning, we do the translation. And then you can you receive an email when the job is done, whether by languages or the overall job, and you can go on the platform, take the SRT, the subtitle files, or we can push it. We can push it by accessing to the API. So each social media, this is a short list, it's not an exhaustive list of social medias we work with. It can be more than that. We have as we coded all MediaWen technologies, when there is a new use case, a new social media to integrate, we go to their specifications, to their API, and we can automate the process. We can extend. And again, if you decide to have burnt subtitles, we can export automatically your file, subtitle in English, with a specific format for Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. And it goes directly by email. You have an email with a link. You click on this link and you receive a zip file with all the versions, and even offline versions. So it's very easy to create an account on MW Hub. We will share an address if you want to test the service. So you open an account, you upload a video, you order which languages you want, and then if it's a long term on several social media, we spend a little time to customize your account for this automated communication. To have, according to your corporate culture, according to how you organize your team, your work, to make it very easy, seamless, and where do you control before publishing online. So how to get started? As I said, we will share an address on the chat box, and if you want to test the service, you're welcome. We can then, so this is a summary. Maybe Biraj, you want to go back to that together? So this is
sure. Yeah, I think what is important, Arvan, here is like we've discussed several times before, when it comes to ultimately addressing the customer's needs or requirements, and we are servicing the customers together. What's important to understand is if there is any, customer requirement, it's very important for the customer to be part of the workflow all the time, where they want to intervene or they want to start and get. So the start and the output, always the customer is there, right? They need to provide the content, whether it's a video or anything else. And they will finally get the output what they desire to. But the interesting part here that we have is we built a custom workflow based on the customer's need. And like you mentioned, if the customer has somebody who is a language expert on their side or is a subject matter expert, and they need to validate certain things from time to time, we can actually include them in the specific workflows by language or as a whole, at a whole level of even the management level. So I think, we've just made a very short workflow just to make it very simple and sweet. But actually, we can make very complex workflows as well, going into several stages. And more or less, what this shows is it's as simple as like what you mentioned is if you are already registered with us as a client, then you already have an account with you. And the MW Hub account essentially comes with a workspace, and different projects can be different workspaces. So if you are concerned about the fact that, okay, I don't want to mix up my videos on different topics or different themes, so you may have different workspace themes as well. So you say workspace theme 1, workspace theme 2, and you can segregate these by the themes, and each theme can have the you can select that theme or that workspace, and then upload your videos there, and that's where it starts. So if you've already got an account, you can create multiple workspaces there, and each of the workspaces you can start by uploading the social media video. And
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I would like to add two small things, maybe
Yeah.
to go more in detail on the post editing, because it is for the corporate a very interesting feature. We can, you don't, I mean, we can do a lot of so-called post-production work. For example, integrating a logo systematically on the videos you put on social media, or integrating what we call a roll-in, roll-out. So some credits, a signature, etc., etc. So if we have a video file with your signature, an animated text or animated logo, we can automatically you upload a video with no post-production, and we send you back with all the automated post-production integrated. Another thing I didn't mention is importance when we customize and we agree on working on social medias with you for localization and accessibility, is the naming of the files. So this will be, we will be strong on how you name the files, so we can automate and pass all the communication with people on your side and people on our side. So the right file goes in the right hands for the right work.
Right. And that's the point I was trying to make, is that, you know, all of these is supported by email notifications to the several people that we made in the workflow. And so you have identifiers and the progress that is each of these files is going through. So you may have multiple files or multiple languages. So the nature of notification can also be decided as to when do you want to get notified, and for each progress being made, you can define when do you require these notifications, and individually whoever is part of the workflow or the process will consistently keep getting the notification if you so desire. And I think the rest of it is pretty simple. I think Arvan has already covered that, you know, the files undergo different processes, whether it is transcription, whether it is subtitling, the post-production, for example, the logos, the credits, etc., the animations. And then the translation file can be pushed in many cases, depending on which social media it is and what is available. It can be pushed directly to the social media channel. And that part is the most interesting part, which I feel actually differentiates any other product available in the market at the moment. And that's a big relief for all those people who are consistently using the social media day in, day out to publish content. So while it's not in certain cases completely an automated process, but in some cases it can be done. So I think that's where a lot of the challenges are also resolved. And so that's where you can, you know, get your either burned subtitles or your exported SRT files, as the case may be, based on the standards also, like we have spoken about. So I think that's pretty much you know, one of the, I would say, the simplest workflows. And we haven't mentioned here the validation workflow. You can put in the validation step at any level, either at our level or at the customer's level, at your level, whichever way you feel you need to have files validation on which stage of the production.
Yeah, just a last slide on. So as we mentioned, we can do 16 by 9 square, 9 by 16. Everything is doable. We can. This is a customization part. So when we agree on the opening of your account, which social medias do you use? What validation process do you want? What formats do you use, etc.
Perfect. So we are at the end here, and I think we would encourage you to ask any further questions. We have 5 minutes with us, and if anybody is interested, for example, so Arvan, I think we should post the, okay, here is the URL. You can actually, if you are interested in trying out the platform, you can sign up on this URL here. And we would be happy to, look at, doing whatever is possible with your, video. We would encourage you to contact us either on any of us. I mean, there are 2 emails here. You can contact any one of the emails, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Or if you have ready at hand a problem with your social media videos or any other videos, we'll be happy to help you out with a free sample as well. So with that, I would like you to look at the chat box that's there on your screens and use that to post any questions that you may have. And by the way, we've just posted the URL in the chat box as well, so you can just click the link, go there and sign up now if you like. Okay, so one of the comment here is that you will actually also have the recorded session. So the URL will be sent to you along with the recording. So in case you forget to note it down here or you are unable to because you're busy right now, the link does specify that you get a 1-minute free sample. So that's the offer we are running right now. So avail of it. Any questions, we'll be happy to take them now. Okay, so I don't see any questions. Okay, so here comes one. Thanks a lot. Very clear presentation. Thank you so much. We feel if that's helped you in any way, we are very grateful. Thank you for attending.
Thank you very much.
So I think with that, I think, Arvan, we can close. Thank you very much for presenting with me. And like always, all the best as well to all of you. Don't forget to sign up for the next webinar, which will be coming up again soon enough in next couple of weeks. Do visit our Vimeo channel if you would like to watch the previous webinars to learn. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.